by Mark Vivian Foet. Sinclair's cross over Cunningham. Di Canio! I do not believe that. That is sensational.
Hello and welcome to Irons United official YouTube channel, proudly brought to you in partnership with Umbro UK. Now tonight is a very special episode as we bring you our first episode of our International Hammers show. My name is Richard Farson from Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm joined by Anthony Baker in Scotland, and our first guest tonight is Dominic from New Zealand. He's actually based in London right now. And Dominic, how are you this evening, mate?
I'm doing good, thanks. Thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here.
It's an absolute pleasure. It's great to have you on. Now, Dom, first question we'd like to ask you is, obviously, with me being a West Ham fan based in South Africa, I often get asked why the hell I support the club when I've got so many options, the likes of Manchester United, the usual big teams. What made you support West Ham United?
Well, basically, back home, everyone basically supports, the big five teams. Your Manchester United, just City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, and all that. So I didn't really want to support a big team. I wanted to be, somewhere else in the league. And didn't quite know who to support. I wanted to sort of support, I guess you would say, like mid-table team, because of that satisfaction of when a mid-table team beats, United or anything. You can go give your friends stick and everything about it. I didn't want to support, say, Tottenham, because my dad's a Tottenham supporter, so I wanted to.
What?
Yeah. My dad's a Tottenham supporter, so I wanted, a rival club. Of course, I didn't want Arsenal because big five. So that left me pretty much with West Ham. Also, my favorite band is Iron Maiden. And the bassist for Maiden used to play for the Academy. I think he was in the Academy. And, he's got the West Ham emblem on his bass guitar. So that kind of sealed it for me right there.
Wow.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, with your dad being a Tottenham fan, I can only imagine the stick you guys give each other, and especially after the results we got against Spurs last season. Tell me what it was like in your household.
Oh, mate, you have no idea how it was. Of course, for us in New Zealand, we have to get up at like 3 a.m. to watch the games. So you can imagine both of us getting up very tired and whatnot. But of course, whoever wins basically gets bragging rights for a week or so. So you can imagine how bad it gets.
Oh, that must be raucous. Beautiful. Anton, I'm going to go to you quickly, mate. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the Southampton performance yesterday. What did you take from the game? Do you think we can take any positives from the result?
Yeah, I think we can take massive positives from the game yesterday. Bit disappointing because obviously Dominic, I was going to pass back over to you later on, but we'll talk about him just now, the whole Winston Reid injury beforehand. I'm not too sure what exactly happened on the warm-up, but it started off a little bit disappointing at the beginning of the day. And then obviously I think we were just all over the place. I think a lot of people are talking about referee decisions, etc. But there are positives to be taken, and for me the biggest positive is to be taken is going to be Hernandez, with 2 proper poachers goals. Class striker. What did you think, Dominic? Did you get a chance to watch the game?
Yeah, I kind of just saw it on Match of the Day, and Chicharito pretty much scored in pure Chicharito fashion, stealing those goals, basically. But I do feel like we had some positives in the game. Like, we had the great comeback, obviously, after Arnautovic's red card, which was a bit iffy because he had an incident on him earlier with the whole elbow on the sideline, and nothing basically was given. But apart from the comeback, basically, we definitely can move forward from that result. It's a lot better than United result, in my opinion.
So Dominic, you said earlier on that obviously you're over in Europe just now doing a little bit of travelling, and then you're obviously going back to New Zealand. So what's it like when you've got to watch a game living in New Zealand? Like you said, I heard you say earlier on, you've got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, what is the whole process behind watching the game?
Basically, so my match day goes, get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. You make a breakfast. You go to, I've got a football club that I play for just down the road. So depending on who's playing and whatnot, they usually show the game there at 3 a.m. and they'll put on a big breakfast for everyone, and everyone just goes up, have a few drinks, watch the game. But otherwise, it's just watching it on TV at home, and then depending on results, whether you go to bed happy or you stay up, stay out for the rest of the day moping about it.
Do you have another group of West Ham fans that you meet up with on a regular occasion?
Unfortunately not. I'm the only Hammer supporter in like my circle. I mean, there are like a few others, but not really like in my circle as such.
In terms of the West Ham following in New Zealand, has it grown as a result of Winston Reid being a Hammer, or is it still pretty small like it is in South Africa?
It's growing. I mean, West Ham came to New Zealand, I believe it was Sam Allardyce's last season in charge. They came for a pre-season tour with Newcastle United, and the fan base actually at the stadium that day was quite proper. Actually, it was very big, and they were very loud, which was cool.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Excellent. I just want to ask a question. Obviously, we've got the presenter Rich in the middle, so as you can probably tell, Rich's accent is South African. So, Rich, throwing the same question at you, just because we've obviously got the international show. First and foremost, why West Ham, and what's it like in South Africa being a West Ham fan?
Well, my dad's always been a West Ham fan. He actually grew up in Zimbabwe, and he was a West Ham fan. One of his brothers was an Everton fan, one of his brothers was a Leeds fan, and his other brother was an Arsenal fan. Wow. So he actually became a West Ham fan through a fortuitous way, actually. They all sent cards, postage cards, to their clubs that they supported. And my dad was the only one out of all the brothers that actually got a response from West Ham. He got a response, he got a few signatures in the post. And from there, just the likes of Bobby Moore, Jeff Hurst, Martin Peters, my dad fell in love with the club, passed it on to me. I've never ever looked back. I had so many ups and downs being a West Ham fan, but it's been the best decision I ever made. I will never go back. Got carried in blue blood. So yeah, once a Hammer, always a Hammer.
That's amazing. Going back to Dominic, have you ever been to see West Ham play? Have you ever seen a game yet?
Yeah, I haven't been to see a game here, but when they came to New Zealand, I made sure that I was there. Even though we lost, I believe it was 2-1 to Sydney FC. It was a great day, and I was going to go to the Southampton game, but unfortunately I couldn't quite get tickets to it.
No, that's a shame, and I take it because obviously you're travelling, and due to our circumstances where we can't actually play a home game for another couple of weeks, it's kind of worked out a little bit of a nightmare for you, so you couldn't get to the stadium. But hopefully, moving forward, you can definitely get to a game if we do another tour in New Zealand.
I'll definitely be coming back in the future, even if it's just to catch a game. I'll definitely plan travel around the game this time. See, I was just in the US for 2 months at a summer camp, and so unfortunately timing just didn't quite work out when I got here. But next time, be planning around a game instead of planning a game around the travel.
I just wanted to ask, obviously you haven't grown up in the East End or anything like that, similar to myself. I just wanted to get your thoughts on our move to the London Stadium. How did you feel about us leaving Upton Park?
I've felt like you can definitely see both sides of it. I mean, the fans who grew up with Upton Park, obviously it's basically their church, really, isn't it? And so everyone leaving their home is like always a big deal. But I think a move to the London Stadium is definitely like a big step for the club and a good way of moving forward. But of course, Upton Park will always be like there for in everyone's hearts, basically. For me personally, I wish I was able to go to Upton Park just to experience it, and unfortunately, I'll never be able to do that. But going to the London Stadium as well will also be a great experience, because we don't have stadiums like that back home anywhere. we may have one as big as 60,000, but that's about it. Yeah.
Sure. So you wanted to say something? Go for it.
Yeah, I'm just going to give you a little bit of background why I support West Ham. So for you listening and watching the show tonight, you can probably tell that I've got a Scottish accent. So yeah, born and bred in Scotland, to an English father who was born and bred in Newham, a stone throw away from Upton Park, and he grew up for many years in London, season ticket holder, always going to the games, grew up through the amazing era of Bobby Moore, Martin Peters and Jeff Hurst. Was very lucky enough, and what I class as one of those fans that got to see us win the 3 FA Cups live and the European Cup Winners' Cup live, and of course the World Cup live. So it's really frustrating when I'm a fan that's only really seen us win playoff finals. But what's happened is my dad never forced me to support the club, but I just couldn't help but support them. It's just one of those clubs that just gets in, and we all bleed claret and blue. And my passion for West Ham is just through the roof, and now I'm lucky enough to be able to go to the games pretty much week in, week out. Yeah, it's a flight away, but if you book enough in advance, you can afford it that way. So I wouldn't have it any other way, and it's been an amazing journey. And as you can all imagine, it's a proper roller coaster supporting West Ham, but it's a roller coaster that I enjoy, and I keep paying money to go on. So I'll keep on doing it.
Fantastic. Lads, I just wanted to ask both of you now, going forward, obviously we have Newcastle away next week before we finally get a home game. How do you guys feel? I'm going to ask Dom, what do you reckon? Do you reckon we can get 3 points up in Newcastle? They've struggled this season so far.
Yeah, I think we can. Obviously, we'll have Lanzini back, and with him sitting just behind Chicharito, I think those two can definitely work together. Up top, and I think with those two, it will be quite dominant. Do we get Kiyade back as well next week? Do we know?
According to David Gold's tweet today, but then we have seen David Gold's tweets quite a lot, he has said that he expects Carroll, Kouyaté and Lanzini to be available for selection possibly this weekend.
Alright. Yeah, and honestly, if we have Kiyade back, and of course we had Antonio back yesterday, who I thought had a good game. If we had those three back, definitely they'll be playing to Hernandez's strengths, I think, a bit more, and he'll be able to poach another couple for us.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem we've had is Chicharito's found himself extremely isolated, especially in the Man United game, and I think Lanzini's that key and jewel that we need just to unlock defenses and just help link up with Chicharito. He has been isolated, but as you guys have both mentioned, he's a fox in the box, and he will score any half chance we get, which is something we haven't had in the past. So that's a massive, massive plus. And do you want to add anything?
No, I'm pretty much the same. Like I'm really keen to see these players coming back from injury and the squad gelling together. I'm not worried yet. 7 goals shipped is not the most ideal thing, but I think the defence has got a lot of work to do. There's still 10, 11 days left, or I don't know when the transfer window closes, but be intrigued to know that if we bring in some other signings, what we can do moving forward. And we just need to really sort out the defence. But we'll leave that kind of side of things and tell you about that in the preview show we've got coming up soon. Dominic, I want to jump over again one more time to you just before we go, but I see you're wearing quite a lot of West Ham merchandise. So what's it like to get access to that? Like, do you have to? Is there a shop locally you go to, or do you order online and wait a while to get your stuff?
I actually buy all my stuff off the West Ham website, but this scarf I actually picked up in a souvenir shop yesterday. So,
oh wow,
so that's a bit of a thing. My top I got off the website. Unfortunately, I got a bit trashed at camp, so that's why I've got the scarf to kind of try and hold it, hide it a bit. But no, yeah, everything comes off the website. I'm going to try go to the London Stadium tomorrow to the store, and I really want the new black away kit because I think that actually looks quite nice.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And again, just to go back to you, Rich, for any of you guys that are going to be watching this show, you'll realise obviously Rich lives in Johannesburg, but Rich was fortunate enough. Again, if you want to maybe tell us a story about when you came over, Rich, recently.
Yes. So thanks, Ant. My journey with Iron United has been an absolute roller coaster from the day I joined, and we've grown exponentially. And actually, through the contact that I had with Iron United, and I managed to meet Anthony, obviously, who found out that I was coming over to Germany to visit a family of mine. And Marcus, another member of Iron United, has managed to organise me a ticket. And flew down from Scotland and met me in London. We watched West Ham beat Hull City 1-0. Honestly, greatest experience of my life, greatest couple of days. I actually managed to join up with Premier League Productions and go in the studio and have an interview. with Don Hutchison, Leroy Rossinia, Andy Cole was there. Anthony actually came with me. We got treated like VIPs, had a great day. And yeah, I'm hoping to come back as soon as possible. And gave me a fantastic time, so definitely. Thank you very much, Dom, for coming on the show. It's been fantastic having you on for our first show of the series. And for all Irons United followers, we are going to be having a lot more of these. So anyone from anywhere around the world, get in touch, get involved. We'd love to have you on the show. So thank you very much, Dom, and enjoy the rest of your time in Europe. And yeah, we'll keep in touch, mate.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, guys. It's been a blast.